Time now for us to delve into WIAA prep football as the season starting to wind down, just 1 week to go. And this report brought to us by SuperCharge Foods along with Eric. Oh, no, wait, it's not Eric. We got a special guest here. You know, he knows so much about television. His initials are TV.
Exactly.
Tony Verga, yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
excited to be
here. Jumping on with us and talking some high school football. And you're kind of like our guy behind the scenes at all of the games. So, you know, a lot of what's going on. And so we're going to delve into the Big 8 picture and the high school playoff picture that is in the Big 8 and Madison Memorial. I want to start with them coming out on top against Parker 48-6, a 7-1 season for Memorial. Quite the comeback season for them after a down year last year, sharing the top spot right now in the Big 8 conference with Sun Prairie. That was supposed to be a tough matchup. That wasn't, as Sun Prairie ran away with that at 35-7. So right now, we got some teams that have got some playoff spots locked up there in Memorial, Sun Prairie, and Middleton.
Yeah, and if you see the Sun Prairie Memorial, they met, this is game one of the week one. Memorial kind of surprised everybody with a win at home versus Sun Prairie. And so they're sitting at the top of the conference now. Sun Prairie is right behind those guys. But heading into the final week, week 9 coming up, Sun Prairie is at West, Memorial's at Craig. So there's a top matchup there that people are going to kind of be looking at, because we could have the potential for a 4-way tie if things play out and everybody does what they're supposed to do. Sun Prairie wins, Memorial wins. We're 8-1, and Memorial's at the top again with the win over Sun Prairie. But if they both lose, Verona wins against East, which is quite possible, and Craig surprises people at Memorial versus Memorial, then we could have a 4-way tie in the Big 8 with 4 teams sitting at 7-2, 7-2, 7-2, 7-2. Again, Memorial would still be seated at the top with the victory over Sun Prairie, but what a way to end the season.
Yeah, no kidding. And speaking of ending the season, our final game of the season on 57, we're going to see Middleton back in action again. We saw them a week ago. They're going to be at Madison La Follette. La Follette, by the way, so they have 4 wins. They're playoff eligible the way things go, likely to get a playoff spot, but to guarantee a playoff spot, they need to beat a tough Middleton team. So that all of a sudden takes on a big significance, that final game of the season.
It does, and the significance of Week 9 are yet to be played out. So going to be a great week. You guys tune in for our game, Middleton at La Follette. Middleton 5-3. Taking on La Follette 4-4.
We are looking forward to doing that one. Badger North now is where we're going to turn our attention, where Wanakee sits atop the conference again. New year, same result. They went ahead and polished off Baraboo 43-0. A team to really keep your eye on, though, right now, DeForest. That was a huge matchup against Mount Horeb Barneveld. Both teams coming in with only 1 loss, or actually DeForest had 2. But DeForest was 5-2 on the season. Mount Horeb was 6-1. DeForest gets the win over Mount Horeb 25-22 to secure second place right now in the Badger North Conference. That DeForest team, the Norskies, are pretty hot right now.
Wanakee with a win in Week 9. They clinched the conference title. If they were to lose at Beaver Dam and DeForest were to win at Portage, which is, again, highly likely, we could be looking at a shared conference title with DeForest, Wanakee. Again, Wanakee, having defeated DeForest earlier in the season, would have the top seed going into the playoffs. So.
Yeah, Reedsburg, another team, they have already clinched a playoff spot right there in the Badger North Conference. Now, things a little bit different over in the Badger South Conference. Hey, Monona Grove is on fire. They are 8-0. We saw them a few weeks ago.
Playing football.
That is one good football team that we saw, and they destroyed Stoughton 42-7. Stoughton, by the way, when we first saw them against Oregon, they came into that game with a 5-0 record. They've lost 3 straight in their real tough part.
3 straight. Didn't realize. Yeah, I guess so. Yep, 3 straight. So, wow, Monona Grove 8-0. Stoughton 42-7. We would have thought a little bit closer match there, but again, as you said, last 3 weeks in a row, so Stoughton is now sitting at 5-3, Monona Grove 8-0. Oregon, I'll let you talk a little bit about Oregon, 31-20 over Watertown. Next week, had probably a good chance of a win, ending the season on a 7-2, taking on Monroe. So,
yeah, Oregon is hot. Oregon has only lost 2 games. Both were close. Both were against real tough opponents. Right now sitting at 6-2. So these are the 3 teams basically Stoughton lost to in MG, Watertown, and Oregon.
Exactly, yeah.
And Oregon, a big win against the Goslings. That was huge for them. So they are on fire right now. We saw this Monroe-Edgewood game, and I just wanted to touch on this a little bit. If you guys had a chance to watch that football game, that was some good old-fashioned football. The Mud Bowl, if you will.
The Mud Bowl.
Caked in mud. And I was watching the replay, and it was even better on the replay because it just looked like those guys were having a lot of fun.
Slipping and sliding.
Yeah.
And, it was, what a great trophy presentation. You had talked about who's going to wash the jerseys. A lot of work, a lot of work for moms that weekend for the kids from Edgewood and Monroe. But thankfully, no lightning delays. We were able to finish out the game. It was a very entertaining game. Monroe pulled away a little bit there at the end, but thanks to Edgewood High School for having us. We always enjoy covering their games. So
absolutely, and thank you to SuperCharge Foods for this report. For Eric, he's Tony. I'm Rich. We'll see you.